Just moments away from the starting lineup announcements. You saw the chance to see the referees coming out. Steve Sampson also exiting the locker rooms.
And now the starting lineup, first for the Western Conference. In goal, wearing number 9 from the Los Angeles Galaxy, Jorge Campos. The defender from the San Jose Flash, number 3, John Doyle. A defender from the Los Angeles Galaxy, number 4, Robin Frazier. A defender from the Los Angeles Galaxy, number 6, Dan Kalichman. A midfielder from the Kansas City Wiz, number 8, Brecky. A midfielder from the Los Angeles Galaxy, number 10, Mauricio Cienfuegos. Midfielder from the Los Angeles Galaxy, number 13, Kobe Jones. A midfielder from the Dallas Burn, number 14, Leonel Alvarez. A midfielder from the Dallas Burn, number 15, Jason Price. A forward from the San Jose Clash, number 11, Eric Winalda. And that forward from the Los Angeles Galaxy, number 29, Eduardo Hurtado. Please welcome Los Angeles Galaxy and West All-Star team head coach Lothar Osiander and the rest of the Western Conference All-Stars. And now the Eastern Conference starting lineup. In goal, wearing number 1 from your Metro Stars, Tony Nieva. A defender from the Tampa Bay Mutiny, number 4, Cleve Diamond. A defender from the Tampa Bay Mutiny, number 5, Martin Vasquez. A defender from DC United, number 12, Jeff Agus. A defender from the New England Revolution, number 22, Alexi Lalas. A midfielder from the New England Revolution, midfielder number 16, Welton. A midfielder from your Metro Stars, number 7, Roberto Dominguez. A midfielder from Tampa Bay Mutiny, number 9, Carlos Valderrama. Midfielder from your Metro Stars, number 10, Ted Ramos. A forward from the Tampa Bay Mutiny, number 11, Roy Lassiter. And at forward from the Columbus Crew, number 20, Brian McBride. Please welcome Tampa Bay Mutiny and East All-Star team head coach Thomas Longden and the rest of the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
The opening kickoff of the inaugural Major League Soccer All-Star Game comes your way next on ESPN. Here at Giant Stadium, the MLS All-Star Game just seconds away from kicking off. Ty, a lot of history has already happened this year in the first season for MLS. This just another chapter in the book.
Look at this crowd here. It's just exactly what you're talking about. The people have come out in droves to support this new professional outdoor league.
The referees had the chance to see them earlier. Kevin Stott will be the man in the middle. Greg Barkey and Arthur Reed will be on the sides. The referees' assistants, and Ruben Rojas will be the fourth official today. It will be the Western All-Stars wearing the white. They're defending the goal. To the left, with black shorts, Eric Winalda in the center circle, anxious to get underway. The East will be wearing all blue and moving from right to left in half number one. Winalda and Cienfuegos, two of the bigger stories in Major League Soccer, and the All-Star game is underway. Cienfuegos, the number 10, kicking it to the near side, getting it to Kobe Jones, and they will drop it back. John Doyle has it. All the way back to Robin Fraser. We'd like to thank Honda and all of our MLS sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's Major League Soccer All-Star game without commercial interruption. Leonel Alvarez, the number 14, into the middle, and just as they do, getting Preki involved with Kansas City here in the West as well. Alexi Lalas for the East with their first touch, passing it up the line to the exciting Brazilian, the 21-year-old Welton. Welton in the middle looks for Lassiter, deflected in the air by Alvarez. Valderrama comes away with it into the middle to Donadoni, the number 7 for the Metro Stars. Koeman finds teammate Roy Lassiter wearing the number 11, pushing it forward for Donadoni. But Frazier will kick it out of bounds and a throw-in upcoming. Let's sit down to the field and bring in Bill McDermott. Bill?
Well, I'll tell you, Phil, the mid-season report card is in, and it is fabulous down here at Giant Stadium. Major League Soccer is alive and kicking in the United States. The crowds have been fabulous throughout the league all year long, averaging nearly 20,000 people. And tremendous crowds as well here today at Giant Stadium. Games always go to a conclusion. You can't beat that. And the mid-season report card may be incomplete. However, with the remainder of this game today and the rest of the season, there's more excitement to follow. And I'll tell you, the capacity crowd here today at Giant Stadium, they've registered what they think. It's an A for Major League Soccer at midseason.
Thanks, Bill, and hopefully he can hold on to his voice, because the way this crowd is going, as Brian McBride's header goes over the bar, it should be a fun afternoon.
Phil, this is not quite Italy, Ireland as it was in the World Cup, but it's approaching that as we see the best players in the new professional outdoor league showcased here in the MLS All-Star game. Number 11 there for the Western Conference All-Stars. Eric Winalda took the kickoff, recently married, here as the top scorer in history for the U.S. national team.
The offside flag goes up, first of the day, and the East will start it quickly from the back. Lothar Osiander, the LA Galaxy's head coach, the man who guided them to the best record in the Western Conference, coaching the West here today. Flipped in, looking for Lassiter, but headed clear by Doyle. To the far side, a beautiful move by Cienfuegos. He has Preki running down the wing, and a soft pass stolen by McBride. Back to Cienfuegos. Hurtado has it. The tank, number 29 for the Galaxy, who can score at will, it seems. Alvarez dropping it over to the far side to Jason Price, one of the young American stars who's getting a chance to shine. Preki, a dangerous left foot. Cienfuegos, Price looking for Winalda. It will go over the end line. In fact, Viola will keep it in play, and the East will have it.
Not to be unexpected there in the early part of a match, an all-star team, guys from all different club teams within the league, miscommunicating slightly on trying to link up on that last pass, but they'll find their legs, they'll start to create an understanding and work the ball intricately, as only Carlos Valderrama can do. You can see him right in front of Jeff Higgins, number 9 for the Eastern Conference All-Stars, with a very distinctive hair. Valderrama, one of the most entertaining players in the world to watch.
Play Koeman to the far side, touching it on to Ramos, who'll keep it in play, tries to center for Lassiter. Nice defense from the West. As you notice, the clock ticking down as it does throughout the MLS regular season, winding its way to 0. The referee controls it, but when the clock strikes 0 on the scoreboard, the half has come to a close. Hurtado in the middle with some space. To the near side, looking for Jones, headed back nicely by Eggers to Miola in the net.
The defense for the Western Conference obviously has a flavor that comes from the Los Angeles Galaxy. They've given up the fewest goals in Major League Soccer. So they have Robin Fraser, Campos.
Lassiter's shot blocked by Campos, headed back nicely by Robin Fraser.
Exactly, it's Campos who's been the goalkeeper for the team with the fewest goals allowed this year, the LA Galaxy. And out in front of him, Robin Fraser sweeping, and Dan Kalichman also playing in the back. We'll have the look here at the first strong attack by either team in this Major League All-Star game, and it's Roberto Donadoni with the right-footed ball into space to Valderrama, and Valderrama, perfect vision, and he links up with Lassiter as they do so well with the Tampa Bay Mutiny, but Campos has no problem cutting the angle.
Welton in the middle for McBride, stolen by Frazier again, as you saw. Good pace in the miter power shot. Valderrama holding on nicely. What a battle that is. The two Colombian stars in a handshake after Valderrama goes down.
They better shake hands. They will be teaming up for Colombia's national team in World Cup qualifiers. They already have, and they play alongside each other and complement each other beautifully with that Colombian World Cup team. Leonel Alvarez for the Western Conference All-Stars, and Carlos Valderrama, number 9, in blue for the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
Alvarez again to the near side for Preki, the number 8. Kansas City's scoring whiz, the leading scorer in Major League Soccer, finding Jason Price on the far side. Price dropping it back to Kobe Jones. Jones, the dreadlock, number 13 in the middle for Winalda, headed in the air. Agus back to Miola. He bobbles it but grabs hold before Hurtado can get there.
Part of the University of Virginia connection there. Jeff Agus, Tony Miola.
Here's Valderrama with some space. Alvarez comes over to help. Lassiter back to his Tampa Bay teammate, but just off the mark.
That's what Alvarez does best, tackling at midfield, diffusing attacks. Brilliant slide tackle there a moment ago to hook the ball.
Oh, nice pass by Preki and Kobe Jones onside, far side. Winalda for the header. Koyman shields him away. Jason Price holds on. The Dallas midfielder brings it back. And the rifle, right foot, saved by Miola.
Jason Price possesses a lethal right-footed shot. It always seems to dip and elude goalkeepers. Miola covered it well, but there's Jason Price from a bad angle. There's that dip on it. If that bounces right out in front of Miola, it's a potential rebound.
Into the middle for Martin Vasquez, finding Valderrama. Vasquez playing the Alvarez role on the Mutiny. Defensive support. Pass up to Lassiter, so the middle of the field. As you mentioned, LA dominant on the west. Tampa Bay dominant on the east. Kobe Jones to Alvarez. Back to Jones with some space in front of him. Agus comes over to shut him down. Jones finds Hurtado, but Alexi Lalas sticks a foot in and intercepts.
6 players, each chosen from the conference leading teams. The LA Galaxy, the best team overall in the league. Tops of the Western Conference, Tampa Bay. Also 6 players selected to this MLS All-Star game. Tampa Bay right at the top all the way from the beginning, also in that Eastern Conference.
Here's Winalda. He can score, he can also cross, gets into the box, but national teammate Alexi Lalas stops the charge. It'll be a throw-in for the West.
Winalda, many consider him to be the closest thing the United States has ever come to a world-class striker or goal scorer.
Here's Preki to the far side for Price, spinning over the end line. It'll be a goal kick. Nice idea. That one might work a little bit later.
Well, Phil, the Giants Stadium here witnessed crowds of 70,000 plus back in the glory years of the Cosmos. The World Cup here, capacity crowds for every game in '94 when the United States hosted the World Cup. And today, an anticipated sellout for this Major League Soccer All-Star game. So New Jersey and the New York area, a hotbed for soccer fanatics of all stripes, shapes, sizes, cultures, languages, nationalities. They love to see their professional soccer top level exhibited here on natural grass surface here at Giant Stadium.
This might be, other than the World Cup, the best chance to see some of the best players in the world here today at Giant Stadium. Called it the Mecca of soccer. The Rose Bowl might be up there, but when you have a game of this import in either place, it's an amazing experience. Welton, the number 16 for New England, brings it back to the right foot, tries to chip it over, and almost put it in the net. Campos deflects it for the corner, but brilliance from the Brazilian.
Welton, like most Brazilians, will try and do the unexpected. We have the super slow motion here as he bends the ball, and Campos, gambling as he always does, does get caught out of position, he's backpedaling. He nearly knocked it into his own net. Not only that, he was disoriented. Had he really known where the goalpost was, he would have just let it go past.
Tab Ramos, the Metro Stars number 10 on the corner. Towards the spot for Lawless, and the header goes wide.
Alexi Lawless, number 22 for the Eastern Conference of Blue, always a threat on the high balls into the box, particularly on corner kicks. He has scored 7 goals for the U.S. national team, most of them from that same situation.
Campos, Kalishman, Frazier. 3 Galaxy players in a row before it finds number 14, Leonel Alvarez. Alvarez and Brecky playing give and go. Back to Frazier as they try and draw the East out. Kalishman on the far side wearing the number 6.
He's a hometown favorite. The only one on the Western Conference, Dan Kalishman from the New York area. Played at Williams College, a Division III power.
Vasquez almost trips over the ball, but holds on. He'll knock it back to Koyman. Koyman, a little bit of a gutsy move, but he freezes Winalda enough to gain some time.
It's the East who have threatened Jorge Campos' goal on the corner kicks, as well as the combination we saw a moment ago between Valderrama and Lassiter.
Cienfuegos finds Brecky. He's not afraid to shoot. Blocked by Agus. The West holds on. Alvarez, the soft touch into the corner. Brecky and Agus. Brecky almost keeps it in play and did draw the corner.
Number 8, Brecky for the Western Conference also really battling in the corner there. An all-star game, you expect guys maybe to go a little bit easy, do a little bit of showboating, but he got his foot to that one to force the corner kick. Top scorer in the league, and it's all of the left foot.
Looking back post, Winalda can't get the volley because Clay Koyman got a head in. But the number 11 from San Jose keeps it in play on the far side with a dive. Price tries to lift it in. Agus all the way on the far side. There might be an opening on the near. Winalda taken down. This will be a free kick. Might be a little far away for a direct shot, but Tony Miola in the East net at least has to think about it. Winalda looking for Doyle, straight into the air. Kalishman, the number 6, heads it towards the spot. Cienfuegos has it. Hurtado knocked down and away. Finally guided into the arms of Miola by Tabarama.
Beautiful idea there. Cienfuegos and Hurtado trying to work a 1-2 practically inside the penalty kick spot, 12 yards out. Not much space there, but they have that kind of confidence in their touch on the ball in those kind of tight spaces. And had Hurtado not been bumped there, he was trying to give a return pass into Cienfuegos' path.
Brecky, the soft touch, looking for Cienfuegos. More magic to Hurtado, the left foot. He fakes the shot and Lawless steals it away.
Alexi Lawless, number 22 for the East, was in desperate straits there as Hurtado sold him. Big fake initially.
And here's McBride on the full run. Cuts inside of Doyle, but can't keep his footing. Continues to hold on, saving it for Valderrama. Alvarez blocks it clear. They were looking for Ramos on the far side. Donadoni can't control the trap, and Jason Price comes away with it. The number 15 from Dallas, the Duke grad, sending it out, finding Cienfuegos across the midfield stripe.
Obviously the offensive combinations to watch in this match. For the East and Blue, it's Valderrama looking for Lassiter in the space. For the West, it's Cienfuegos looking for Hurtado.
He has it, but Lawless again. Might be a slow mistake, but Lawless has been quick to recover here today.
There's El Tanque, Eduardo Hurtado, who was on a goal-scoring tear with the LA Galaxy. In fact, he led the league in goals for some time. Had to leave to play for Ecuador in World Cup qualifying. Otherwise, he still would lead the league.
Valderrama, Ramos, goal! He beat Campos. Beautiful pass from Valderrama, and Ramos puts the East up 1-0.
Nothing short of sensational and also very fitting. Tab Ramos, the captain today for the Eastern Conference All-Stars, a member of the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. This is his home stadium, and he grew up very near here. Valderrama spins the ball, a little bit of a bend, and taken down beautifully on the chest by Ramos. He tees off on it and stretches the far upper corner netting. Campos has no chance. There's Campos, he gets set. Look at the velocity on that shot as Campos had no chance for it. Valderrama wisely with his great vision picks out Ramos out on the far side. Number 10 for the USA and for the Metro Stars today for the Eastern Conference All-Stars strikes the ball truly into the far upper corner.
What a beautiful play by the East. And you can start to sense both teams getting the chemistry going. Valderrama to Welton. Valderrama flips it back to Donadoni. Here's Vasquez on the near side. Vasquez wearing the number 5 to McBride. Does the smart thing and finds Valderrama. Valderrama to Donadoni on the overlap. Roberto Donadoni to the far side for McBride. Gets ahead on it. Lassiter. Welton. Just wide. Talisman will come away with it.
The Eastern Conference here responding to a crowd that is really pro-Eastern Conference. Obviously, they support the Metro Stars very well here, averaging about 28,000 fans a game during MLS action league games. But Campos has almost given up 2 goals here in the first 15 minutes. And it's mostly Valderrama and Lassiter providing the threats. But you have to feel great for Tab Ramos, number 10 in blue for the Eastern Conference. He grew up in Kearney, New Jersey, 15 minutes from here. Used to come here to watch the Cosmos with those great crowds here at Giant Stadium. Now he's a national team member. He's captain today of the Eastern Conference All-Stars. And what a goal he has scored in front of his hometown crowd.
Tony Meola, John Harkes on the East bench, nursing a little bit of a hamstring pull. Also in the same boat, and Meola's come up big a couple of times already.
Tony Meola's been coming up very big for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. He leads the league with 5 shutouts in goal for the Metro Stars. At one point, he had 3 shutouts in a row as they made a resurgence after the coaching change. So he has been a stellar performer in goal in Major League Soccer for the Metro Stars. Tony Meola, Kearney, New Jersey, just like you mentioned, John Harkes as well.
Here's Welton playing much more of a central role today. The pass will roll out for the Western throw. Let's head down to the sideline, bring in Bill McDermott and East coach Thomas Rongen.
Coach of the Eastern Division All-Star team. How long have you been training with these guys?
The game plan is working to perfection. We haven't practiced once. So when you win, you take the credit. When you lose, you blame the players. This is a great occasion, Bill. Yeah, we're up 1-0. Both teams have played well. Crowd is into it. Another big plus for soccer in this country.
Thomas, you see Valderrama play all the time, games, practice. Have you ever seen a play with better vision and better 1-2 touch?
No, I certainly haven't. He's one of a kind, and I'm very fortunate he's wearing the Tampa Bay Mutiny colors in MLS.
Thank you very much, Thomas Rongen. Full back up to you.
Lawless, he'll fire the shot, but caught on the outside of the foot. It'll be a goal kick for Campos.
I don't know about you, but if I was Alexi Lawless, I'd have gotten that ball right back out to Carlos Valderrama. Lawless, known for his ability to score on high balls with his head, not known to have a particularly accurate long-range shot, and Valderrama was begging for the ball out here on the left side.
You see the sellout crowd, you hear the roar, the fans getting into this one. Rongen had the chance to see the earlier heyday in the NASL in All-Star games. This has got to feel right up there. Lawless back to Meola, sending it up for Donadoni in the middle.
Roberto Donadoni, what a fine couple weeks he had in the European Championships for the Italian national team.
What a move by Valderrama. Frees Donadoni, tries to cut it back for the cross, gets it in, Campos deflects it and grabs hold with Western on the doorstep.
Great action here at Giant Stadium at both ends, but in particular, it's Jorge Campos who's been under heavy pressure in goal for the Western Conference All-Stars.
Leonel Alvarez finding Winalda, getting the return. Hurtado, Winalda, Preki. Hurtado fights his way through Lawless, but Lawless comes up big again. They have been testing Big Red, and he's come away with the ball every time. Ramos, the goal scorer. Frees Lassiter with Frazier on his back. Frazier, the number 4, on the defense for the West. Lassiter forced to dribble his way out. He'll drop it back to Clay Koyman. Vasquez to Donadoni. The East continuing to push pressure up. He finds Agus on the overlap. Kobe Jones guarding him. The back heel to Welton. Alvarez finds the opening and almost comes away with it, but Welton does a nice job to block him away. Agus, the number 12. Lassiter lets it run. McBride tries to set him up. cleared away, and Jason Christ comes away with it for the West. Hurtado, the number 29, against Koyman. He has the speed. He gets past him into the middle for Cienfuegos, and Wallace again with the boot in the right spot.
Eduardo Hurtado, number 29 in white for the Western Conference, is a handful. He's been the main threat for these Western Conference All-Stars. He's got so much speed and power. So far, Wallace has been able to stay with him for the most part, but it's just a matter of moments before he'll break through.
Here's Cienfuegos, and he can create and shoot. Cuts back to the right foot.
Wallace disappeared from the radar screen there on that fake.
Here's Kobe Jones. He's looking for the shot. Blocked by Agus. The battle of national teamers continues. Wallace heading it clear, finding Ramos. Phil Shane, Ty Keogh at Giant Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. The mlsallstar game. The East leading 1-0 on the 14th minute tally from Tab Ramos for Carlos Valderrama. McBride getting the return pass. Campos out to grab it.
What is happening here is what all American soccer fans were hoping would happen. The league, Major League Soccer, consists of about 80% American players. This All-Star game, the players selected for this All-Star roster, almost 60% of them American players. So the league really serving to help develop the American player.
Major League Soccer regular season action continues on the deuce. Kansas City against Tampa Bay. You'll get the chance to see it on ESPN2, 7:30 Eastern time. KC moving up the West, and Tampa Bay looking to hold on to the Eastern lead. Ryan McBride for Columbus, knocking it back to Ramos, to Vasquez from Tampa Bay, Lassiter to Valderrama. Those three you'll get the chance to see on Thursday. To the near side for Agus, the number 12, the defender from DC. Finds the opening for McBride, and he has some space. He fires the shot over the bar. He had the opening and had to go.
Phil, I think there's always some concern that in an all-star situation, the players haven't played together that much, but I've been pleasantly surprised. In fact, what you're seeing here, because of the super concentration of highly talented and skillful players, this game taking on a different rhythm than you generally see in Major League Soccer league games. These guys, a lot of nice building in midfield, working the ball instead of playing at such a high pace. Many of the Major League Soccer games tend to be more long ball played, more pressure applied up front, just chasing balls in the corners. All of these passes here have a design to them, and that speaks volumes about the gifts and skills of this particular group of All-Stars.
Far side, John Doyle, wearing the number 3, the Fremont, California native, drops it back to Alvarez. Cienfuegos in the middle, wearing the playmaker's number 10. To Preki. Preki from Kansas City. Almost splits the defense with Hurtado and Winaldo running on. But since both in the same space, one defender too many. Here's Lassiter. Lassiter the far side to Ramos with a lot of green in front of him. Tab Ramos into the middle. McBride stopped by Campos and brought down by Frazier. Here's Christ, the Dallas midfielder, finding Preki. Those two normally go head-to-head. Now they're on the same team trying to knock this score up. Preki to the far side. Winaldo somehow found his way free. That could be dangerous. Winaldo tees it up and sends it over the bar. It will be a goal kick for Tony Meola.
Have a look at Tab Ramos's goal and a new technique here. The first ever use of a digital replay in North America. We'll have a look at Ramos's goal here. He scored in the 14th minute of play off of an assist by Carlos Valderrama.
Winaldo in the middle looking for Hurtado, flicked on back post for Cienfuegos. The West won't wait. Cienfuegos, the amazing move from Meola, more than enough.
Meola very alert to get down quickly to smother that shot. His reflexes are right on today.
Ramos. End-to-end. We'll get back to that digital replay in just a moment from Ramos and Valderrama's brilliant play. And here's El Pibe again, the number 9, finding Ramos. Valderrama normally wears number 10, but Ramos getting a little bit of respect here today in his home park.
Not only that, he got the captain's armband. He's got a goal today.
He's living up to the number. Ramos looking for Lassiter, brought down by John Doyle. Play on. That draws some whistles from the Eastern faithful. Agus the nice slide to win it from Kobe Jones. Donadoni, the Italian superstar, to McBride, tries to cut it back from Doyle, hits the hand, but play on. Here's Valderrama to Welton, in the middle, looking for Lassiter.
think Tony Miola's quick going down to his left. Campos just pounces on that one. Almost appears to be not humanly possible. A perfectly timed run by Welton. He gets the ball from Valderrama out in front. It was Lassiter. Lassiter would have had a goal had Campos not been able to stretch out and get to that ball. Like I said, it's superhuman, the speed at which he's able to throw his body around.
Donadoni looking for Lassiter and just off the mark. That's what you have when you have players from different teams.
Jorge Campos, there he is on your screen, number 9 for the Western Conference. He looks quick in slow motion.
Lawless and Winalda go head-to-head, normally roommates on the road for the U.S. national team. Here's Valderrama. McBride wearing the number 20, dropping it back to Donadoni, who has been very evident here today. Ramos into Valderrama to Welton. Stops it on a dime and finds El Pibe again. Oh, brilliant ball from Donadoni. Ramos to Valderrama, but Alvarez will steal it away for the West. The West wearing the white and black shorts. Moving from the left to the right here in the first half. They trail 1-0. Kobe Jones beating the offside trap. Has some time to spin it through. Agers gets a head on, or gets a boot on it. The deflection can be grabbed by Miola. And the East has kept a lot of pressure out of the box in the past few moments.
Tony Miola here in goal for the East. A moment ago, Kobe Jones of the LA Galaxy crossing, number 13 in white. He's matched up against Jeff Agers. They must think they're back at Mission Viejo like 2 years ago when they were getting ready for the World Cup, scrimmaging against each other day in, day out. Now they're adversaries in Major League Soccer. There's Jeff Agers playing with DC United and Kobe with the league-leading LA Galaxy.
Donadoni saw what Welton wanted to do and tries it himself. Ramos on the far side can't get there before Robin Frazier does. Here's Alvarez. Striding forward, finds Winalda. Hurtado's on the near side looking for the ball, and Preki moves up. Winalda against Lawless, who comes up big again.
Exciting matchup there. Two of the U.S. national team stars. Lawless coming up on top here. The goal in the 14th minute. Valderrama, the playmaker. Great vision over to Tab Ramos, pushing forward on the right side. Not a great angle, but look at the placement of that shot. Zeroed in straight to the upper corner past Jorge Campos.
Try and bring you more digital replays throughout the day. Technological innovation giving you a chance to maybe get a better idea of how it happened, as on the far side, Preki's corner kick comes in and it's loose in the area. Lawless didn't know where Winalda was and elects to just head it over the bar. They'll swing it to the near side. Preki will get set for the corner.
Lawless there with a defensive header. Very powerful in the air. Jorge Campos now, this is very typical of him. He loves to get involved in the play. He's the goalkeeper for the West. He's up across the halfway line, wanting to get involved, just to entertain the fans. He does some of that, though, even in games that really count.
Miola gets a fist to it.
Campos has played 82 minutes this season over the course of the year as a forward for the LA Galaxy. So he is a very skillful player with the ball at his feet, in addition to being one of the top goalkeepers in the world.
Here's Welton, the number 16, against Alvarez, dropping it back to the Colombian field general Valderrama. McBride and Vasquez not on the same page. It will roll all the way back towards midfield. The East will hold on. Donadoni.
Donadoni, of course, of AC Milan and Italy fame, now has really added a spark to the midfield for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars, who had such a rough start to their season, despite the fact that they are second in the league in average attendance. They weren't able to please their fans. A coaching change was made. But a bigger change, I think, is the fact that Donadoni's been able to come in and play more.
Hurtado, a nice ball. Cienfuegos wasn't quite expecting it. Lawless sends it out for the throw. Let's send it down to the sidelines, checking with Bill McDermott. What's been going on with Carlos Valderrama, Bill?
I tell you, Phil, they continually look for the number 9 shirt as opposed to the number 10 shirt, which he normally wears. Valderrama is involved in everything, running alongside of him, Tab Ramos and Roberto Donadoni. They're always available, and they continue to go forward. I talked to Lothar Alcyander at the outset of the game. He said, well, Bill, it's pretty much about entertainment. After the goal, he said, well, it's pretty much now about weathering the storm. Back up to you, Phil.
The storm has been around the Campos net, but Agos, a nice move. The East defense has been almost as impressive as the offense.
And the reason the East defense has been under some pressure as of late.
Campos comes out.
There he is. We talked about it. The fans love it.
saw Donadoni cheating in.
He almost had Winalda through on a breakaway had he lifted that ball a little bit more. So goal scorer, playmaker, goalkeeper, you name it, Campos could do it. Back during U.S. Cup, he played in both matches, a league game for the Galaxy and then also for Mexico.
Preki gets past Lawless. Cienfuegos looking to set it up all the way to Kobe Jones. Near side of the box. Jones gets past Agus in the middle. Miola punches it. Vasquez clears it.
But what we've seen here in terms of midfield play, the Eastern Conference have been dominant. That's how they created the goal. Valderrama, Donadoni, and Ramos outplaying Preki and Kreis and Alvarez at the moment.
And here comes Campos again. Lassiter well behind him. Campos across midfield. Campos 35 yards away. Campos sets up Winalda. Winalda. Campos coming into the middle. Hurtado tries to get ahead on it. Campos still in the offensive zone. He's in the box with Preki on it. Campos in the area. Back to Preki. Preki, the number 8. Almost gets past Agus and holds on as Campos heads back towards his own net, drawing a roar of approval from the crowd.
Jorge Campos had everyone in the stadium on their feet, and after he gave that ball to Winalda, he wanted it back. He ran into the box looking for the return pass.
Here's Welton. Valderrama. Ramos runs. Doyle steals. The number 3 from San Jose. Too strong for the West.
John Doyle, former U.S. national team defender. He played in the '90 World Cup. He's been around too long to buy that one.
Here's Winalda, who's getting out to the flank and becoming more dangerous. Cienfuegos, a rare mistrap, but he has Preki to help. Vasquez guarding him tightly. Preki towards Kreis and just off the mark.
Now, well, how's Tony Miola going to top Jorge Campos now? Now, Miola was a big goal scorer in high school. The senior year in high school in Kearney, New Jersey, they turned him into a forward because they didn't have anybody that could score.
Here with us today, the Fujifilm Blimp, spending 48 weeks out of every year traveling with the U.S. with a full-time crew large enough to staff 2 Major League Soccer teams, and they're seeing a doozy from up above, end-to-end action. Robin Fraser to Alvarez.
Phil, not only was the East goalkeeper Tony Miola versatile enough to be a top goal scorer in high school as a striker, as a forward, he also was drafted out of high school by the New York Yankees because he was an outstanding hitter and fielder.
Kobe Jones finding Preki, cuts it past to the right foot, back to the left. Hurtado has Cienfuegos, he'll use him. Agus comes over, Cienfuegos looking for Hurtado, but Clay Koyman heads it away. The number 18 in defense. Doing a good job holding up Preki, so good that Kevin Stott comes over and congratulates him with a foul.
Number 18 for the Eastern Conference, Clay Koyman, and of the Tampa Bay Mutiny. He's hammering on some people out there. Not quite what you expect in an all-star setting.
This might be a little far away for the shot. They'll let Cienfuegos get it to Preki. Spins it. Goal! There's nothing Miola could do. Cienfuegos to Preki. We're all tied at 1.
Surgical precision on the left foot. Preki had just enough time to try and set this up. The free kick just rolled over to him. Not enough pressure there. He can look up, pick out that corner, and the bend totally eludes Tony Miola as he was scrambling to try and get over there. And Preki caresses this ball. It's all about placement, very little about power as he parks it way out of the reach of goalkeeper Tony Miola. Preki showing why he leads Major League Soccer in scoring thus far this season.
Here's Welton looking to put the East back in the lead, but Campos out-jumps McBride, and that's not easy to do.
Campos is not a tall goalkeeper. He's listed variously as 5'7" to 5'9", but he can sky. And there's Preki from Cienfuegos in the 33rd minute of play to knot the score here. So the fans here have to be pleased with both goals, both of them perfectly placed shots.
Oh, what a pass by Cienfuegos, saved by Koyman, but Winalda comes away with it. Kobe Jones can't get there because Agus does. Good play by the number 12 in defense, otherwise Jones might have had it at the back post.
What about Preki's goal, though? If he'd licked a postage stamp and stuck it in the upper corner, he could hit it.
There was nothing Miola could do on that. Preki honed that shot indoors. He could do that in his sleep. Getting set for the corner kick. Alvarez will come over in case they decide to play it short. Could have a substitution coming in before the kick, and it looks like we might. Roberto Donadoni is leaving the pitch.
Of course, Donadoni performing double duty today. He's also a FIFA World All-Star. Great doubleheader here at Giant Stadium.
And entering the number 8, El Diablo, Marco Echeverri, the Bolivian superstar from DC United, the leading assist man in Major League Soccer.
Donadoni has to feel good. Not that many minutes, but he's certainly entertained.
Preki to Alvarez. Fakes the back heel, gets it back to Preki. Preki lifts it up past Ramos. McBride back in defense to head it clear. And here comes Echeverri. It's a 3-on-2 if they hurry, but coming from behind, Cienfuegos with the defense.
Cienfuegos, known for his tireless running at midfield, that time tracked back to make a big defensive play.
Here's El Tanque, the tank. Hurtado gets the opening and the shot rolls wide. He just played with Lawless that time.
Number 29 for the Western Conference All-Stars, Eduardo Hurtado, a member of Ecuador's national team. 6'3", 200 pounds, but phenomenal balance, as we saw a moment ago, as he rode a couple of tackles before he struck with the right foot. And he is one of the most explosive scorers in Major League Soccer, and a big part of the success that the LA Galaxy have had thus far in the season. We're roughly at the midway point. This is the All-Star break, and so many stars have shown in this league. They're all here together on this natural grass surface at Giant Stadium.
Robin Fraser will let it go over the end line. It will be a goal kick for the West. Let's head down to Bill McDermott on the field. Bill?
I'll tell you, Phil, I talked to Preki prior to the game. You know, he's not a young man. It's fairly warm today. I said, you'll probably just go 45, huh? He said, are you dreaming? I'm going the full 90. He's pretty much done that all year long for the Kansas City Wiz. He doesn't come out, and because of his ability on free kicks and individual wizardry, he has tied this game for the Western Conference. Phil?
Thanks, Bill. Far side, Jason Kreis with it for the West. Passes it off to Cienfuegos. Winaldo wearing the number 11. Back to Kreis. Nice trap. Cienfuegos stops to avoid the offside. Hurtado to Kreis. He's in alone. Goal! The West has taken the lead. A brilliant pass. And Kreis with the goal.
Jason Kreis, one of the revelations of Major League Soccer. He had appeared a little bit on some of the youth national teams. He's come out of nowhere for the Dallas Burn. He plays it into Hurtado to start the play, follows his pass, Hurtado with the return one into space, and very coolly, clinically, Jason Kreis slots it past Tony Meola, but it starts with Jason Kreis, and he does well to support his own pass, and a well-timed ball through from Hurtado sets it up, and look at this. Don't try this at home, folks. And on the AstroTurf, maybe you shouldn't try it, but you know, that's a big controversy going on here. I think many of the New York Giants players would love to have natural surface out here, but that will be changed back to AstroTurf within the next few weeks here, as NFL action will return to the Giants Stadium and AstroTurf comes with it.
Well, hopefully that won't be too long before they realize the error of their ways. Far side, Alvarez. Alvarez continues to stride with Hurtado making a run. He splits the defense and uses his speed, tries to beat Meola again, but Tony comes up with a save.
Hurtado smiles, and smile he should. He just set up a beautiful goal to Jason Kreis a moment ago, but he was also trying to test Tony Meola at that near post, because Meola has that tendency to leave the near post open and gamble a little bit the other way. So Hurtado, like many of the players in this league now, will look for that, particularly if they can fake towards a player at the far post, which Hurtado had when Aldo was racing to the back post.
Echeverri. McBride will find El Pibe to El Diablo. And Echeverri can't get there before John Doyle lets it roll across. Take a quick look back at the Budweiser scoring summary, and we have seen a hat trick of goals here in the first half. Echeverri coming in after the last one. Tab Ramos started things off for the East. A 14th minute goal thanks to Carlos Valderrama's brilliant pass. Preki from Cienfuegos off the free kick in the 33rd minute, and just 4 minutes later, Hurtado proved he can do more than score as he set up Jason Price. And here comes Winalda again, finding Hurtado. He has Jones with him, cuts to the inside. Welton hustling back on defense to steal it away.
Hurtado, number 29 in white, such a powerful runner with the ball at his feet. And he's set up a goal today. And a real turnaround here in the early minutes of this first half of play. It was all Eastern Conference. It was Valderrama dictating, Tab Ramos and Donadoni all dictating the pace of the game. But now suddenly with 2 quick goals by the West, it's a different game. Brecky started it off with that left-footed curling ball to the upper corner to tie the score.
Brecky knocking it back to Campos again, well out of the area by at least 15 yards. Take a look, Giovanni Savarese, the Metro Stars' leading scorer, one of the leaders in MLS. Looks like he could be coming in soon. All the way back, Lawless will let it roll to Miola with just 5+ left to go in the first half, and what a half it's been.
The East looking for an offensive spark in Giovanni Savarese, who played here locally at Long Island University. He's of Venezuelan descent, but he's a native of the New York area here. It seems like every time he steps on the field, one of his first 2 touches is a goal. So Savarese, number 17 in blue, coming on, and he normally produces some goal scoring.
Welton trying to use some magic to get past Talisman and Alvarez, but good defense by the West. It will roll across for the Eastern throw just shy of the flag. Agus heading it in. Echeverry back to Vasquez, the number 5. He finds Ramos, who scored the first goal, which seems like eons ago. Echeverry to Welton. He can cross, and McBride open on the back post. That was not even a semblance of a cross. It'll be a goal kick for Campos, and rare miscue on this day. Savarese getting set to come in, wearing the number 17 today, the Caracas, Venezuelan native, celebrating his birthday in fine form in the first MLS All-Star game. And he'll be coming in for Roy Lassiter, the 27-year-old forward from Tampa Bay. Lassiter doing a lot of running today. Was unable to find his way free in the box. Savarese, that's his specialty.
Roy Lassiter, perhaps the fastest player in the entire league, and definitely in the plans of U.S. national team coach Steve Sampson, who is here today to make sure he checks out all the top stars in Major League Soccer to be considered for the U.S. national team, as they are very close to preparing for World Cup '98 qualifying games coming up in a month or so.
Savarese with 12 goals, no assists. All he knows how to do is score. And I'm sure that Thomas Rongo would like to see that happen here today.
That's all you need to know how to do. It's such a specialty. Savarese, yeah, he's not necessarily pretty, but he can put it away.
Hurtado, and the flag comes up offside. Just beating the trap.
There's Jason Price, the author of the go-ahead goal for the Western Conference. He got the ball from Hurtado, but he was a virtual unknown in U.S. soccer. Now he's with the Dallas Burn. He has scored goals for them. He has 7 goals, 3 assists on the season out of Duke University, but he's found a niche with the Dallas Burn.
Agus tries to beat Campos, who does a nice impression in the end zone to grab that one. He'll slow things down as the West pushes forward. Price, we've talked about Vasquez earlier this season, about potentially earning a slot. Robin Fraser did get a call up to the national team again. Price is not that far away either, Ty, and that's in large part thanks to Major League Soccer.
He has showcased his brilliant right-footed shot, as well as his dribbling and passing ability under pressure at midfield. So it's good to see a young player, a United States citizen, be able to come through at a high-level league. Price wearing number 15 in white for the West.
Nice touch by Valderrama, and Ramos, and will roll all the way across and hit the flag for the Eastern throw. Sunday Night Baseball coming your way later on ESPN at 8 o'clock start. The Giants against the Dodgers. That classic rivalry will continue on ESPN. Mike Piazza, you might want to tune in and see what he can do. It's an all-star game every time he steps to the plate. Here, Brecky finding Winalda. Winalda, nice trap as Agus tries to shut him down. Waldo shoots it wide, down into the tunnel. He tried to go near post on Miola. It'll be a goal kick for the East.
Well, there's Waldo, but where's the net? He didn't seem to know where to find it there. misfiring. But this is some good. So look at him accelerate off the first touch. One more touch. He lines it up, but then misstrikes it under some pressure from his U.S. national team teammate, Jeff Agus.
Tony Meola will leave with just a minute left to go in the first half. He'll get a chance to draw some applause here today from the crowd, which he calls home. Mark Doherty from Tampa Bay will step into the net.
This could be precautionary. Meola early in the season had some shoulder problems, also missed a couple of games with a problem with his wrist and hand. And obviously he wants to please the hometown crowd. Meola growing up here in northern New Jersey. He was a fan of the Cosmos back in those glory years. But Doherty has proven himself to be one of the top goalkeepers in the league, helping to keep the Tampa Bay Mutiny at the top of the Eastern Conference.
McBride knocking it back to Echeverry. A reminder, when it hits 0, the half is over. A foul will be called. Savarese taken down by Price. And maybe the East will get a chance to equalize in the waning seconds, but they better hurry. 14, 13 seconds, 12 seconds. 9 seconds and the clock is stopped. They did stop the clock to try and get the wall back. So the clock stopped with 9 as...
Now Alvarez should get himself a yellow card here for delay of game. He's encroaching the entire time trying to delay this kick.
Valderrama more the passer in this situation.
Alvarez still much too close to the ball. He leads the league in yellow card cautions.
Echeverry shot, bangs off Kalishman. He's down. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Agus rolls it wide, and the half has come to a close. But Dan Kalishman looked like he might have been knocked unconscious by that shot. We'll find out how he is and look back at the goals. Ramos, a brilliant one. The halftime show comes your way next on ESPN. As we go along, Savarese and McBride still out there. Savarese, the late first half substitute. Jeff Agus has moved to the middle as Clay Koyman has left the pitch. Teammate Steve Pittman will move out to the left, and Alexi Lawless, a little bit of an unusual situation playing out here on the right side. Normally a central defender, but Lawless the number 22. Nice forward pass for Brian McBride, who tries to keep it in play and does. Gets it past Frazier. Now competing against Santel in the middle. Knocked aside by Alvarez. And all the way to the outside.
Brian McBride, number 20 for the East there, threatening. Great hustle making the run into the corner. He was the first player drafted in Major League Soccer and got off to a very strong start with the Columbus Crew, becoming the league's top scorer in the first 3 or 4 weeks. Obviously, since then, he's been overtaken by Preki and Hurtado at different times in the season.
Digital Takawera wearing the number 12, Preki's teammate in Kansas City. The Zimbabwe scoring threat also on the field. Robin Frazier continues to control the central defense, as does Alvarez in the midfield.
Number 17 in blue for the Eastern Conference, Giovanni Savarese, down in the lower left corner of your screen there. It's his birthday today. He's turning 25 years of age, and he's a Metro Stars fan favorite here at Giants Stadium, scoring many important goals for them already this season.
Mo Johnston, the familiar red-headed Scot, also in the lineup, so a trio of KC players. This Mark Santel wearing the number 7, playing the left defense, normally plays for Dallas, now wearing the West uniform, but his pass off the mark, deflected away, and here comes the East again. Valderrama to Echeverry. What a tandem that is. Echeverry thought McBride would stay outside, instead taken away nicely by Paul Bravo, the San Jose forward, playing a little bit more of a midfield role, which is actually what he started out playing in MLS and has turned into a scoring sensation in the interim. Here's Carlos Valderrama. Valderrama on the right foot. Echeverry mistraps. Valderrama giving chase, but Jason Price will get there first. Price in a matchup with Martin Vasquez just blows past the midfielder, and here's Johnston on the left wing. Lawless comes over. Johnston lays it off for Price. Price dribbles through Lawless, centers it in. Takawera fighting for it, and Doherty comes out to grab it. It'll be a play on. Let's go down to the sidelines, bring back in Bill McDermott. Bill?
Thank you very much, Phil. I talked to both coaches as they re-entered the field. Thomas Rongett said, no big changes, a couple had-to-go minor things I might have done, but the bottom line is I've told the players to go out and have fun. Lothar Alcindor from the Western Conference told me, Bill, I told the players to go out and stay cool. Now go try to figure that out if it be at all possible in this weather. Phil, back up to you.
Thanks, Bill. Not as hot as it might be elsewhere in the country, but little neighbor named Bertha dropped by, and it is still quite humid here in the Northeast. Diego Sonora wearing an unfamiliar number 22, normally for Dallas in defense, as Johnston sends the cross in. Knocked down. Lawless on the near side. Takawera giving chase.
We saw Tab Ramos score the opening goal of this game in the 14th minute of play with a great right-footed shot. He able to star in front of his hometown crowd. He plays for the Metro Stars. He grew up in New Jersey. Another guy who grew up in New Jersey, very close to this stadium, John Harkes. A disappointment for him, injured in a game on Thursday evening. He's got a tender hamstring. He has been selected as an Eastern Conference All-Star from DC United, but he won't be able to participate today. So a bit of a heartbreak for Harkes, but Tab Ramos is his best buddy, and perhaps that makes up for it that Tab was able to score here at Giant Stadium in front of the New Jersey faithful.
Here's Paul Bravo. Bravo to Johnston, laying it off for Preki to Takawera. A trio of KC players combining on that one. Bravo, the shot over the bar. He had Sonora coming in, elected to take the shot, and it sails high and wide.
Good inventive play there by Takawera from the Kansas City Wiz to even be able to conceive of that play to drop it into space for Paul Bravo. Thomas Rongen, the coach of the Eastern Conference leading Tampa Bay Mutiny, alongside him his assistant coach Renato Capobianco, who used to help out with the U.S. national team during World Cup. And the coaches were selected for this All-Star game based on who was leading each conference at the time of the vote.
Savarese lifting it up. Ramos, the flag comes up, it's offside. Capobianco, by the way, married to Mary Harvey of the U.S. women's national team, getting set for a rather tough run for the gold, but they're on their own home field, so he'll be divided attention over the next month or so.
Mary Harvey, a very tough goalkeeper for the U.S. women's national team.
Sonora on the far side, cuts inside Pittman and gets the shot over the bar. Goal kick for the East.
Diego Sonora, one of the players who've come on for the Western Conference, where he plays with the Dallas Burn, a very skillful Argentinian player from Boca Juniors.
Mark Santel, Digital Takawera, Paul Bravo, Diego Sonora, and Mo Johnston into the lineup. Coming out, Ivan Hurtado, Mauricio Cienfuegos, Dan Kausman, who did walk off the field under his own power, but it took him a while to get his senses back after getting nailed by that man. Marco Echeverry's free kick at the ending of the first half. Eric Winalda and Kobe Jones also out, the two Westlake Village natives from California, after a tough first half.
Marco Echeverry should have tried to target Leonel Alvarez with that free kick if he's going to take somebody out, because it was Alvarez who was encroaching.
Boyman off the field as well for the East, and teammate Steve Pittman. That appears to be the only substitution for them, although they did make the change earlier as well. In goal, Mark Doherty and Giovanni Savarese up front, coming in just before the half came to a close. Mark Dodd also in goal, as he has stepped in place of Jorge Campos. Here's Paul Bravo. Bravo with the outside of the boot. Preki will get it with some space against Pittman. Preki to the left foot, cuts back inside. He scored like this before, but he loses his footing. Taken away by Pittman, but Preki can work wonders on those cuts.
Preki, a darting, jagging run through the Eastern Conference defense. He could cut the ball on a dime.
Savarese to McBride. He'll run on. Ryan McBride, the St. Louis U product. The first draft choice in college for MLS. Offside to Savarese. He continued to play, waiting for the whistle. Dodd will take the kick.
You know, this is a rivalry here between the Eastern Conference. As we look at the Western Conference goalkeeper, Mark Dodd, also out of Duke University, as is Jason Kreis, who scored the go-ahead goal for the West here in the latter parts of the first half of play. But early in Major League Soccer, the inaugural season, the Western Conference teams almost totally dominated the Eastern Conference teams in terms of wins. That now has pretty much rectified itself, but there's some of that animosity, rivalry going on out here between East and West.
John Doyle steals it away for Alvarez, looking for Jason Kreis, his Dallas teammate. Kreis, the number 15, pushing up from the midfield against Lawless. Kreis lifting it up and coming out quickly. Mark Doherty just in front of teammate Steve Pittman.
Steve Pittman, who got called up to the U.S. national team at the end of May to be on the roster for the USA Scotland game, but he was unlucky with an injury there, was not at full fitness.
Here's Valderrama. Echeverry making a run. McBride on the outside, in the middle, and Savarese almost did it again. Somehow he cut into the open time.
He has the instincts to be in the right place at the right time for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars, as well as here for the Eastern Conference All-Stars. And it's Valderrama who starts it as he always does. What a playmaker. Out to Brian McBride of the Columbus Crew. Brian McBride serves the near post for an onrushing Giovanni Savarese. Savarese did get his foot to it, forcing the corner kick.
Tab Ramos will take the corner. The Eastern captain scored the only goal they put on the board so far. Lawless heading it down. Valderrama and Alvarez fight. Echeverry gets the shot up. Lawless with the bicycle play on. Savarese to Agus. Lawless again, headed clear by Frazier, brought down by Welton. The shot just high.
What an air battle there just a moment ago as Agus sent the ball into the box and going up for it. Alexi Lawless, brilliant in the air, but all over him were John Doyle and Robin Fraser, two other players just as strong as Lawless in the air.
Mark Dodd tested early and often just in that one series.
Tab Ramos taking the corner kick there, the first player signed by the new league, Major League Soccer. He signed back in the fall of '95. He's the franchise player, truly, along with Donadoni for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars, whose home stadium is the friendly confines of Giant Stadium, which for now is natural grass surface.
John Doyle wearing the number 3. He started the game and is still out there. Diego Sonora from Dallas, who came in to start the second half. Doyle taking his time, looking for Takawera. Somehow gets past Agus, tries to cut back and holds on. Bravo, Brecky, and he didn't get all of that one. Goal kick for Doherty in the East.
When he does get all of it, you know it, because the ball takes off like a rocket. Brecky, the leading scorer in the league with 29 points, didn't test Doherty at all with that one. Digital Takawera, number 12 in white for the Western Conference All-Stars, a top goal scorer for the Zimbabwe national team. Very exciting player on the dribble.
McBride tries to run on to Echeverry's pass, but Dodd out quickly to grab it. Pulls it out to his Dallas teammate, Jason Price. Santel as well, a trio of Burn players getting involved in the defense. Dodd looking for Takawera, headed away by Agus and the number 3, Steve Pittman, who appears to be in good health. It might not be that far away from a call-up again to Steve Sampson's national squad.
The Eastern Conference All-Stars have a couple of very good defenders in Jeff Agus and Steve Pittman. Both of them have the ability with their left foot to pinpoint long-range crosses and passes, so that's a weapon for them coming out of the back.
Santel, Johnston making a diagonal run, and he gets past Lawless. Can he get into the box? Price inside. He'll lay it off. Bravo has it. He's not afraid to shoot. Looking for Takawera. Off of Agus. Johnston tries to spin it into the corner off the loose ball. Doherty watches it sail wide.
Mo Johnston, formerly of the Scottish national team, ever the opportunist, trying to sneak a shot in there with the right foot. He was a consistent scorer for them leading up to the 1990 World Cup. In fact, he furnished the winning goal against Sweden in group play at World Cup 1994, Scotland.
In the middle, Tab Ramos. Making a run, Valderrama. Dodd out quickly to grab it. Sonora playing a much more attacking role here today. Near side, Ramos for the East. Santel comes over to try and shut him down. Nice play by Santel to slow down the Eastern captain, but Ramos still trying to get the cross in. Double teamed by Dallas. Echeverry into the tandem. And coming away with it, Mark Santel. Looking for Takawera. Lawless comes up to win it. Echeverry, Ramos was offside. He'll have to try and hold on. Nice move by Echeverry again. Knocked off his boot by Bravo. It'll be a corner kick. But some wizardry from El Diablo.
Absolutely putting on a dribbling display and a show for the Giant Stadium fans. Marco Echeverry of Bolivian national team fame, and a brilliant creative dribbler and playmaker.
Ramos looking for McBride. Dodd can't get it. Cleared away before Welton could. Here's Pittman with the left foot. Knocked down by Bravo. Welton holds on for the East. They try and find the equalizer, but can't. Takawera, far side. That's Brecky. Brecky with a 4-on-2. Preki, Takawera, and Johnston with him. He leaves it for Takawera just behind him. Agus tries to knock it clear. The East defense a little slow in getting back, but they did just enough.
Jeff Agus, number 12 for the East there, almost the lone defender back there, got his foot to it, otherwise almost a certain wide open chance for the Western Conference All-Stars.
Senora, Alvarez, back to Senora if he can keep it in play, but the offside flag was up. It'll be a free kick for the East just inside the area. Thursday and Friday, the British Open underway on ESPN. John Daly trying to hit it across the pond, and seeing the way he can, he just might. Starting out 9 a.m. Thursday on ESPN. Ramos laying it off from McBride. Doyle there, so Echeverry, and he cut between them both. Nice play by the San Jose defender.
John Doyle perhaps risking too much in a game that really counted in the standings. He probably would have just played the ball out for a corner kick. This one, he finessed his way out of it. A couple substitutions here about to enter the game. Coming in, Dr. Kumalo of the Columbus Crew, and Tab Ramos of the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars, who scored the lone goal for the East today, coming off the field to a huge round of applause.
Ramos will hand the captain's armband to Dr. Kumalo, who promptly hands it over to Alexi Lalas. So Lalas, who has worn the New England captain's band once or twice, now wearing it for the Eastern Conference.
Of course, the guy that normally wears the armband for New England, Mike Burns, also selected to the Eastern Conference All-Stars. He's also a member of the U.S. national team, unable to participate in today's All-Star match due to the surgery to his right knee. He's going to be out for at least a couple more weeks.
Had the chance to talk to him earlier this weekend, and says he's feeling fine, can't run yet, but he's keeping his calendar marked, and he's expecting maybe 4 weeks away from returning to action. Preki getting the outlet pass. Alvarez to the near side with the number 15, Jason Price.
Well, we saw 3 goals in the first half of play, starting off in the 14th minute. Tab Ramos from Carlos Valderrama, and then the equalizer from Preki, and then the go-ahead goal for the West by Jason Price. This league, Major League Soccer, in its inaugural season, has been averaging nearly 3.5 goals per game. So it's been a very pleasant surprise in terms of the amount of scoring we've seen.
Let's go down to the field while we await the throw. The U.S. scoring leader with our own Bill McDermott.
I am with Eric Winaldo. Phil, you know, you got this all started in that inaugural game. You created this atmosphere. Tremendous, isn't it?
Well, I wouldn't say I created it. I think a lot of the guys that are here are showing today why this thing has been so successful. There's a lot of great soccer out there right now. We're having a lot of fun as players, and it's good to see that everybody's really enjoying themselves. The crowd's fantastic, and it's just a lot of fun.
With the San Jose Clash, enjoy the rest of your season.
Thank you so much.
Eric Winaldo, back up to you, Phil.
One of the more colorful characters, and so is Digital Takawera. In the middle for Santel, tries the return pass. Coming away with it nicely, Vasquez, but Digital holds on. Saving it for Bravo to the outside, Johnston. Back to Bravo, the back heel to Preki. Cleared away by Agus, Echeverry fighting for it. But Alvarez, the number 14, comes away, fires the shot, banging it off of Pittman to Johnston. Mo Johnston, the former Celtic and Rangers star.
Give the West there an A for creative effort, as the little heel flick by Paul Bravo into Preki. Tight spaces there, but they had some ideas up their sleeves. But it started off with Digital Takawera sliding to win the ball right back near the Eastern Conference goal.
Valderrama, Echeverry, and here's Samarese. He's in alone, but blocked wide by Dodd. What a save!
Echeverry showing his skills not only on the dribble here, but also with a neat little through pass. Valderrama to Echeverry, the quick touch, no offside there. Mark Santel kept him on, and Samarese, he actually had that lower corner picked out, but Dodd making the save of the game, perhaps. 61 miles per hour.
To the near side, Digital Takawera, who has been dangerous since coming on to start the second half. The West leads it 2-1. Phil Shane, Ty Keel with you from Giant Stadium, the inaugural Major League Soccer All-Star game, and it's been one to write home about. Johnston bangs the cross in off Pittman across the end line, and a corner kick for the West.
Well, Mark Dodd in goal for the West, an early leader in most of the goalkeeping statistics. He now sits third in overall goalkeeping with a 1.49 goals against average. Made a huge save there on Giovanni Savarese just seconds ago. Tony Meola, who started the game in the Eastern Conference goal, the #1 goalkeeper in the league with a 1.27 goals against average.
Far side corner taken quickly. Brecky wasting no time. Alvarez against Echeverry, and Echeverry harasses him enough to force the miscue. It will be a goal kick for Mark Doherty in the East.
We look at Marco Echeverry there. He gave us a dribbling display a couple of moments ago, and what a great through ball to Savarese to force the save out of Mark Dodd. There's our blimp shot. For you coaching tacticians out there, you can do the X's and O's from up there. But Phil, almost every one of these players will be representing their countries in World Cup qualifiers as we lead towards World Cup '98 in France. There's a lot of international experience on both of these all-star teams.
Price looking to set Tacuera free, but Lawless, who has played a brilliant game so far, gives it up though with the pressure from Tacuera and comes away with it again. And Savarese is free, but Dodd out of his area, can't clear it far enough, hustles back. Valderrama, Savarese to the outside. Sonoro will take some pressure off.
Let me tell you, Valderrama's a genius there. He was about to play the ball to Savarese. He knew he was offside. Just a slight hesitation gave Savarese a chance to check back. Then he played it to him.
Dr. Comalo to Echeverry. Stolen away by Price. Price and Echeverry battle in the corner across the end line. It will be a corner kick. Echeverry takes it quickly. Comalo, the South African sensation. Lawless. Here's Vasquez. Valderrama, the #9, sends it through. The offside flag is up. No goal. No goal.
Well, Savarese can smell a goal anywhere. This time he might have smelled it a bit prematurely, as working the ball nicely and intricately were the Eastern Conference All-Stars. Vasquez gave it to Valderrama. Valderrama slips it in behind. When he plays it to Savarese, Savarese is in behind all of the defenders, and the flag went up immediately for the offside. There's Savarese. Yeah, he's back behind all of the opposition defenders before the ball was played to him by Valderrama. So that time, if Valderrama could have, he would have tried to get it to him sooner before he stepped into that offside position.
John Doyle battling Savarese on the far side. Finds a way free to Alvarez. Near side, Santel. St. Louis native, right in midfield, wearing the #7 today, knocking it back to Robin Fraser. Fraser will try and take some pressure off all the way to Dodd as Valderrama tries to force an errant pass. It almost does.
Practically every one of these players on both of the All-Star squads at one time had experience in foreign professional leagues overseas. They brought that here to MLS.
Santel just a step behind Jason Price. Comalo, Johannesburg native.
Oh, and a star of South Africa's Nations Cup champion team.
Welton beats the trap at midfield. Dodd comes out. Welton sends it wide. He tried to spin it into the far corner, and he almost had it, but it's still 2-1 West.
And no offside here because it's a good diagonal ball all the way to the outside, running onto it. Now is Welton, the young Brazilian, 21 years of age. He takes measure of Mark Dodd and the goal, but fires wide.
The substitution will come in. Mark Dodd's pressure perhaps saving the day. Welton thought he might have him. Steve Rammel coming in. Martin Vasquez out, so Rammel will talk to Dr. Comalo and try and set the stage for the East.
Talk about one of the surprise All-Stars, Steve Rammel, not even on an MLS roster at the start of the year. He was brought up from a US ISL team. There's an agreement between the two leagues to use US ISL as a farm system for Major League Soccer. And Rammel, you look at him, you wouldn't think he'd be a goal scorer. He's not that tall. He doesn't appear to be that much of a thoroughbred in terms of speed, but he's come on, scored the first hat trick ever in Major League Soccer action for DC United.
11 goals, 4 assists. Here's Welton. Oh, what a save by Dodd. He got down quickly on that one.
Dodd looking very sharp today.
Talked earlier about Jason Christ, who tries to lift it up for Mo Johnston along with Randall. Who might be some of the other players who caught you by surprise with their early play that earned All-Star bids?
Oh, one of the ones I wanted to talk about, he was not picked as an All-Star, but Steve Ralston of the Tampa Bay Mutiny, most likely the leading candidate for a Rookie of the Year pick. He had played college soccer in Florida and picked up by the Tampa Bay Mutiny. He has furnished many useful games out wide for the Tampa Bay Mutiny. Also in this game, Paul Bravo, a guy who had started the A-League, now scoring goals here.
Rommel in the middle, goal! He did it again! Somehow he gets there, Giovanni Savarese. A couple of Cinderella stories collide here today, and the East has tied it up.
The tying goal there by Giovanni Savarese, who plays right here for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. And you're right, two of the biggest surprise All-Stars on the field. Steve Randall, who plays for DC United. He sets up the goal for Savarese. The ball played in here into space. Randall runs onto it. He catches it just near the end line. He's got his head up looking to serve it out of the reach of Mark Dutt. Following up is Giovanni Savarese. Savarese was not a starter even for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. He's fighting, battling to get to that near post. And then off of Dodd's hands, he scoops up the rebound. And Savarese has a nose for the goal. He has helped resurrect this New York, New Jersey Metro Stars team in front of the huge crowds at Giant Stadium throughout the season. But Steve Randall, well-timed run, a useful cross from in deep. He barely caught it before it went out of play.
A little bit of irony we can touch on in a moment, because DC United got a win on a very similar play earlier this week. Welton looking for Valderrama, but he gives it away to Johnston. The Scottish number 26 outside to his Kansas City teammate Preki, but stolen away by Pittman in the East defense. Kamalo with a little bit of flair. Into the middle looking for Rommel again. Kamalo picks up the loose ball to Echeverry. Echeverry into the middle for Rommel. Rommel has it. Kamalo takes the shot. Saved by Dodd.
Dr. Kamalo making his presence felt for the Eastern Conference. Kamalo was involved in the tying goal. He's the one that played the ball into Randall in the corner when Randall set up Savarese. Savarese and Kamalo there nearly scored.
Wallace put it on net. Goal kick for Dodd in the West. Knotted at 2, and what a game.
The crowd really getting into this. There's Alexi Lawless with the armband. He took it from Tab Ramos when Ramos left the game. Lawless played at Rutgers University nearby.
As did Rommel and Lawless, those two teammates helping out Thomas Rongen's Eastern squad, tie it up at 2. Mentioned the DC game against Rongen in Tampa Bay just a couple of days ago. John Maisner with the DC substitutes just seconds after coming on. A similar cross to Rommel that found Echeverry for the goal. Santel gives it up to Valderrama, but the offside flag was up.
So we've seen 4 goals, 3 of them in the first half. Now the Eastern Conference All-Stars led by their playmaking genius, Carlos Valderrama, number 9. It's hard to miss him with the hair, but he has the subtlety and creativity of a top-level playmaker worldwide. We look at the Budweiser scoring summary. Tab Ramos in the 14th minute, and then later on Preki tied it up.
Christ then in the 37th, putting the West in front, and here in the second half, right near the midway point, Rommel and Savarese, we talked about surprises, and they caught the West napping a little bit there. 2-2 the score, just over 18 minutes left to go. Echeverry against Alvarez, and Christ comes over to help out nicely. Alvarez wearing the number 14, finding Preki. I thought Bill McDermott might have had Preki joking, but he might just play the whole game here today.
He's still got the legs. He's 33 years of age, but going strong.
Takawera. The East defense is back. He's waiting for some help. All the way to the far side for Preki. Brings it down with the right. Much more comfortable with the left. Johnston doesn't care, but he bangs it off Agus anyway. And the return volley sailing high and wide. Goal kick for the East.
Mo Johnston threatened there with the right foot. Agus probably saved a goal. I'm not sure if Mark Dougherty had a good look at that one. So blocked out in front, that last chance by Mo Johnston, the former Scottish international.
Dougherty taking his time.
The West have used all of their substitutes, all the players on their roster, with the exception of former U.S. national team captain Marcelo Balboa, who's also nursing a tender hamstring, and for that reason may not be able to step on the field today, but another great honor.
The East also using all of their substitutes as Rammel, one of the last ones who paid off some quick dividends.
Well, he got the ball to the right guy. Giovanni Savarese has 12 goals this season for the New York, New Jersey MetroStars, and here's a guy who for many games was not even a starter.
Throw in for the East. Also have to give credit for Brian McBride, who was running on. If that ball had not been deflected, McBride might have had
He was right in there, yeah. Good runs into the goal mouth by the East on that last cross from the left side by Steve Rammel. They got the goal from Savarese, and we've got a 2-2 score.
Valderrama, Welton, Kumala. Not a bad trio of ball handlers right there. Kumala spins around to gain some space with Paul Bravo pressure.
Well, if they want to play for a tie, those three guys could probably just keep the ball the rest of the game.
Have a few Olays ringing around this stadium. Takawera with Alvarez pushing forward from the midfield, finds Preki outside. Preki, the number 8.
Of course, there won't be a tie.
Preki,
if not because of Preki's left foot, but because they will go to a shootout if, in fact, the score is tied at the end of regulation.
Here's Welton. Echeverry pushing forward as the East try and take the lead. So Savarese again with the diagonal run. Gets it back to Echeverry. Back post. McBride keeps it in play nicely. Rammel tries to hurry over to pick up the loose ball and does, but can't keep it in play on the far side. Bravo wins the throw-in.
Great hustle out there first by Brian McBride to keep the ball in play. There's Steve Rammel. Give him an assist on the tying goal for the Eastern Conference from DC United. And he really came to the rescue of a struggling DC United team early in the season.
A capacity crowd here at Giant Stadium. MLS's first All-Star game, and it is definitely one that's been worth the price of admission. 2-2 the score, 15 plus left to go. Kumalo finds Welton. McBride to Valderrama. Frazier pressuring him. Valderrama doing a nice job holding on. Splits the defense. Gets to Echeverry. Pulled down to the mark. Savarese, but play on. Mark Santel brought him down. The only thing he didn't have was a rope tied around his legs. Johnston to the near side as the West got a break. Price wearing the number 15 to Preki. Bravo pushing forward, tries to split it for Price. Play on. The offside flag had come up. Valderrama, Echeverry on the outside, and he'll use him. The Bolivian number 8 finds McBride, but Santel gets ahead on it. McBride heading it back nicely to Welton. Welton looking for Valderrama. Over him, but too shy for Echeverry, and cleared away by Senora.
Phil, is there such a thing as a Colombian hat dance? Because Valderrama a moment ago, before the shove on Savarese, stepped over the ball 3 or 4 different times, spun, double touched it, stepped through 2 defenders, and that's when he pushed the ball into space for Savarese. Savarese perhaps was shoved there by Mark Santel, but no whistle.
Cleared away by Doyle. And that's the one thing that separates Valderrama from some others who might have similar skill with the ball. So when he elects to pass it, it's almost always a scoring chance.
How he can dribble and elude so many defenders under heavy pressure and still know where the space is to lead someone at the same time, that's all part of his genius.
Chance for our Sports Center Olympic special. Tuesday the 16th, 7:30 Eastern time. Robin Roberts will hold it. A lot of action going on down in Atlanta and throughout the Southeast, and this could give you a chance to find out who the U.S. athletes are and who they'll be competing against. That's 7:30 Eastern time this coming Tuesday.
Keep watching Carlos Valderrama, number 9 in blue for the Eastern Conference All-Stars. He leads the league in game-winning assists. He nearly put Savarese through a moment ago on the controversial call, but Savarese was pulled down.
Here's Savarese again. Tries to get past Bravo. Bravo, one of the scoring leaders for San Jose, but he started the season, actually played in recent years as a defensive midfielder. He's using some of that skill here today. Echeverry. Echeverry against Bravo, and Bravo does it again. Now he splits it, finds Kumalo. Dr. Kumalo inside the area. Pittman with the dangerous cross. Bravo got ahead on it, but couldn't turn it to goal. McBride keeps it in play. Price and McBride, what a battle. McBride turns him inside, lifts it up, loose at the spot. Echeverry looking for the shot, spins it. Oh, it hit the crossbar. just spun wide, might have caught the goalpost as he had the corner open.
Electrifying skill there demonstrated by Marco Echeverry. What a left foot. He's matching Preki. Preki scored his, but look at this wicked swerve on this ball. Nearly hooks into the upper corner. It curved so much it was able to catch the far outside netting. That's how much of a bend it had on it. You don't see that every day, folks. That sort of ability to make a ball bend with the left foot by Echeverry.
2-2 the score, under 12 minutes to play. Here comes the West again with Preki. Gets through Lawless and somehow on the ground frees Johnston. Mo Johnston in the box, tries to cut it through. The foul will be called and a free kick just outside. A little bit of shirt tugging going on there.
Steve Pittman trailing the play, grabbed a hold of Mo Johnston's shirt because Johnston was off to the races. Tekawira helped set it up. Look at this battle going on. Preki gets the ball to Johnston and he takes off. He's into space. There's the shirt pull. And that is normally a mandatory yellow card. This is all-star action, so they're not going to bother with it. But still, it's a shame that Pittman resorted to it because you'd like to see a great goal-scoring chance, which you still might off the free kick.
Those two competing in the Scottish Premier League recently. Partick Thistle for Pittman, Falkirk for Johnston. They're both here at MLS, and perhaps an unfortunate collision here.
Really against the spirit, in particular, of an all-star game to be shirt pulling by Pittman.
Price will step over. Freeing Johnston, tries to get the shot, but Valderrama on the defense. Bravo on the volley. It rolls wide for the goal kick.
Valderrama taking his performance to new heights. You don't normally see him defend like that, but he did stop the shot off of Mo Johnston. Johnston making the mistake perhaps of trying to make sure he got the ball to his right foot. If he'd have struck it first time with his left, he might have got it past Carlos Valderrama.
Here's Pittman on the far side, so that little shirt-tugging incident causes no harm. Just under 11 minutes left to go. Still tied at 2 as Kamalo pulls it away. Nice give and go with Welton. Kamalo has Rammel on the outside. He'll use him. Rammel, the DC United scoring threat, taken away by Bravo.
Phil, I know you used it in a different way, but I do think the shirt pull by Pittman did cause harm to the spirit of the game and to the entertainment principle that should be in effect at every game.
How'd he get it through? Rommel tries to split the legs of Doyle and deflects over for the corner kick.
Watch number 14 in blue for the East. He's a goal scorer, only 5'9", but Rommel seems to be able to get his head to the ball more consistently than any other striker in the league.
Most of the East running on to this one. Lawless can't get there before Doyle does. And Doyle on the second header gets it out of the area. Over Johnston. Lawless banks it into the middle. The offside flag was up. Rommel, McBride, Savarese, perhaps all three of them might have been offside.
There's Steve Rammel of DC United. First hat trick ever in Major League Soccer action. Giovanni Savarese also having scored hat tricks. He was the second one in Major League Soccer history for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars.
In fact, the very next night we had the chance to call it right here through ESPN against Colorado.
It's too bad Eduardo Hurtado, number 29 for the West, left the game at halftime. He's had 2 hat tricks this season for the LA Galaxy, and he also has scored 4 game-winning goals for the LA Galaxy, but he left the game at halftime. This being an all-star contest, they're letting everybody play.
Bravo tried to keep it alive, but his opposing number 16, Welton, comes away with it for the East. Echeverry to the outside for Kamalo. One player we haven't talked about yet, Echeverry's teammate, Raul Diaz-Arce, could not make it here today. Echeverry knocked down by Alvarez, and this a dangerous free kick for the East. Diaz-Arce scored 4 goals in a game. That's the record, but could not make it here today. So Echeverry suiting up, and he could end up coming up with a game-winning goal if he can bend this one, and he narrowly missed the last one.
Number 8 in blue for the Eastern Conference, Marco Echeverry, missed by millimeters about 2 minutes ago with his left foot. He's about to line this one up. Valderrama, I think, is the decoy on this one.
Echeverry bangs it off of Robin Frazier. Pittman gets ahead to it.
Remember, Echeverry took out Dan Kalachman with a drilled shot at the end of the first half. That's the kind of power he has.
Kamalo brought it down, no handball. Kamalo fires the shot off Bravo's chest. Stolen away by Pittman. Frees McBride. The left-footed cross. Oh, side netting. Savarese almost with an acrobatic goal.
Savarese as he went flying for that one to reach his extended right leg up for it. But you know, Echeverry was right there also at the back post. You wonder if Savarese would have known that. He might have left it. There's Savarese leaving his feet. Look how high he got. I mean, that looks like a Bruce Lee outtake. And Marco Echeverry even applauded Savarese for the effort just afterwards. But what a sensational finish that would have been to a close game here between East and West.
Especially at Giant Stadium. Tab Ramos gave the hometown crowd a reason to cheer, and Savarese did as well.
Exactly. Two New York, New Jersey MetroStar players providing the goals for the Eastern Conference.
Valderrama knocked to the turf, quickly restarted. Here's Echeverry. Rommel and McBride running in front of him. Echeverry spins past Alvarez. Gets it to Rommel on the inside, but he didn't see it, and Frazier forced to clear it high and outside, almost into the stands.
Echeverry really stepping up his play. He was somewhat of a disappointment early this season with DC United, so highly touted, and everyone knows the brilliance of his technical skills, but he just wasn't making it happen as far as effectiveness. Now, as of late, DC United has moved up in the standings, now in second place in the Eastern Conference, and Echeverry has started to contribute more and more.
So no substitutes left to use. The players that are out there on the field will have to do it the rest of the way with just under 6.5 minutes left to go. Frazier has the ball taken away, and this is a chance for the East. How did he get away from that one? Bravo once again not expecting the pass, and that allowed Diego Senora a chance to save the day for the West.
There's some sort of magnetic element to Valderrama's boots. That ball stays stuck.
Offside flag on the far side. Mo Johnston doesn't quite agree.
Valderrama, sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's not. The subtle things are the quick little one-touch balls. The dribbling in tight spaces, almost effortlessly eluding defenders, is something that he could write volumes about because he's a master of it.
Welton could not elude Alvarez on that one, and a free kick for the East quickly restarted.
Lionel Alvarez, number 14 in white, one of the hard men of the league. Tough tackler.
Valderrama to the outside. Pittman sends it across low, looking for Savarese, but cleared away and brought out nicely by Alvarez.
Giovanni Savarese, number 17 in blue. Boy, he lives in that 6-yard box.
Here comes Preki. Agus giving him some space. That could be a mistake with Johnston on the far side, but Preki's shot punched wide. Johnston was unmarked. Preki did have a good crack at goal, though.
Perhaps the wise choice there by goalkeeper Mark Dougherty, and just using the fists on Preki's shot, because it's always a loaded ball. It can dip at any second. You get your fingertips on it, it might take them off.
Alvarez again looking for Johnston, but Lawless got ahead in it. Back all the way to the far side for Alvarez. He's looking for help down the line. Senora to the 16, Paul Bravo. Alvarez. Preki's on this side, and he is dangerous with the left. Splits the defense looking for Tacuera, who has stopped moving, and Doherty easily comes up with that one. At the conclusion of the game, MasterCard will be awarding the MLS All-Star Game Most Valuable Player Award. We'll be sure to want to stick around and find out who does it, because there's still about 4+ minutes for heroics. And if it ends in a 2-2 tie, it will not end, because the shootout will be immediately upcoming. Echeverry.
I think players of this skill and talent could create a goal for us here in the last 4 minutes.
Maybe the last 10 seconds before this one's over. What a move by Valderrama. Valderrama to the edge of the area. He wouldn't mind going down for a free kick here, but he holds on to it to get Echeverry. Echeverry frees McBride. McBride, you can almost sense him waiting the offside flag. It would not come, but it rolls over for the goal kick.
The dribbling of Valderrama alone worth the price of admission this afternoon, though. Spinning, swirling, holding off defenders, dragging the ball behind his own leg, and still knowing where the support is and being able to play through balls.
3:30 and counting.
Valderrama, the oldest player on the field today at 34 years of age. But you wouldn't know it by his ability to keep going strong in the last minutes here.
And he's played the full game along with Preki, 2 of the oldest players, and they're still causing problems heading towards the 90th minute. Tacuera can't catch up with it before it rolls out for the throw. Goal in the 14th minute from Tab Ramos from Valderrama started the scoring, but the West would counter in the 33rd. Mauricio Cienfuegos setting up Preki for the equalizer, and just 4 minutes later, Hurtado finding a wide open Jason Price in the box, And in the second half, Savarese, shortly after being substituted in, knocks the score at 2. Johnston tries to out-dribble Echeverry and did, but Welton comes away with it. Echeverry, the nice move at the center stripe, all the way to the far side for Dr. Kamalo. This is where he's more naturally gifted on the flank. He's playing inside for Columbus.
A little more space to be found out wide generally, and he does serve a very accurate ball.
Echeverry, soft touch to Valderrama, returns it to Pittman, in the box, the shot, the goal! The Tampa Bay teammates come on! It's 3-2 East!
It's a Tampa Bay Mutiny connection here, and Pittman, who played many years of professional soccer in Scotland, he's a USA native. It's dropped in by Valderrama. Nice little step over move here, cutting inside his Pittman. He has a great left foot. This one has perfect placement on it. Look at Valderrama spin and on the same move be able to dish the ball off to an on-rushing Pittman with the left foot. 61 miles per hour into the far side netting. So we said it, these guys can produce goals when they need them. Steve Pittman, and that's his left foot, which is known to be able to break the net.
Don't think it's over. The West has just as much talent with 1:25 left to go. Chested down smartly by Welton, back to Doherty. At the East, calming things down, Thomas Rongan, just a minute 15 away from pulling off a win in the first All-Star game. And his teammates combine, the two Mutiny players that have produced so well for Rongan in Tampa Bay, do it here in the waning moments in the All-Star game at Giant Stadium.
The East led early with the goal by Tab Ramos, but then the West came back with 2 unanswered goals to take the lead, and now the East has taken control. Savarese providing the tying goal, and now Pittman. And if you took that replay far enough back, it was Echeverry to Valderrama, Valderrama spinning to Pittman for the go-ahead goal. So Echeverry also a part of that perhaps winning goal.
35 seconds left as Doherty sends it up. That's what makes Pittman so dangerous and why Steve Sampson's so interested also. He's playing left back, and he's had 3 or 4 cracks at goal here today.
A fantastic left foot and the sense and timing of when to push forward from his defensive position. He timed his run perfectly. He has provided what looks like the winning goal for the East after getting the ball from his Tampa Bay Mutiny teammate, Carlos Valderrama.
Just about 10 seconds left. This might be the final chance for the West. Jason Price on the throw. Looking for Bruno. Lawless hits it wide. 4, 3, 2, 1. It is over. The East has won. Carlos Valderrama, what a game. Steve Pittman's goal wins it in the 88th minute for the East. The MLS All-Star Game is history. We'll be back to wrap it up next on ESPN.